Good day, good night, all. CFR Network, CFR News. Welcome back. Thank yourself for surviving another day. I have the sibling with me all the way across the ponds from the M Town, a sibling who helped create and mold the soundtrack to my youth and made me the person who I am today, mine. So honors and salutes, and thank you very much for carving out some time for this important and difficult conversation. Welcome to the
Yeah,
broadcast, sibling. How art thou?
thou art very blessed by the best, and they can
Give,
have all the rest. You know what I
give,
mean?
give.
Um, Thankful, bro. You know what I mean? First of all, shout out to you. You know what I mean, and your whole network, and thanks for having me on. I love to be able to to do this, to be able to connect the dots from the people on the other side of the world. Um, I love this about the technology. I love this about what we have going on in this day and age. Plus, my wife who is British and black. Um, she we have family over there, and we have been reconnected with our family since 2018. And my wife and my daughter was just over there last year for their birthdays, and my son will be going. My 16-year-old will be going over there in June.
What
So
what part of the UK,
definitely
sibling?
they are in he's going to so the the place where my wife has family.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get it right. Hold on one second, because I haven't been there, but they
Yes.
go. And it is it oh what is it called? I gotta ask. She's upstairs right
It's
now. I
all
need to
good.
ask her I'm gonna get you the actual
Yes.
city that they went to, but it's outside of no one ever there last time. They spent time in London, but it's in the country. It's just a little country area, and it's a train. It's a train ride right outside of.
Okay, so it's south of the other map at least. I know. I
Yes,
kind of
yes,
know the
it's
area.
outside of London.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But I got to get the actual little city that they go to. But it's a beautiful little town. The pictures look so great that they showed me. But yeah, there's definitely a connection there. And as a father, it's dope because I'm Memphis born and raised. You know what I'm saying, and to be able to see my kids go overseas and be
Mm.
able to go experience what's going on over there and all that is a beautiful thing. Um, but today, our conversation as we are in Mental Health Awareness Month for
Mm.
May is
Yes.
Mental Health Awareness Month. And last month was Autism Awareness Month, Acceptance Month. And yeah, man, I just been boots on the ground, really. I've been probably visited about 30 different classrooms of autism children last month with my nonprofit, autismadvocates.org. So we go and we push safety, inclusion, and awareness and acceptance. My son is Jameson is 14 years old. He has profound autism, non-speaking, and we don't say non-verbal because he's definitely verbal. He
Oh,
just doesn't
yes.
he just doesn't speak like you know what I
Yeah.
mean. But yeah, man, this is he's my why. He's my wife's why.
Hmm.
My wife is the executive director of our nonprofit, Autism Advocates, and
Hmm.
we push that we different, not less. And for the month of April, I go hard by going to so many different classrooms and seeing so many different so just visiting, touching down with our autism community and being able to and we bring our mascot through for the kids. They love it. We have a mascot. It's a dog, Ace the Advocate, and we come with Ace the Advocate, and we come and bring and no pun intended, but shine a light on
Yes.
autism. And we give out sensory items, and we take care of the caregivers and really, come through and make our autism communities feel special. And then we're rolling out this new program called Aquatism because the leading cause of death for children with autism is drowning. So and that's what the data shows us. So we are in the midst of rolling out a program that teaches aquatic safety in the water for our young autistic swimmers, so they can be able to swim and really get the water safety, so they can take care of themselves in the water. Because as having you have a nephew with
Mm.
autism. Most of the people with children with autism are very attached to the water. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And it could be therapeutic for them because of their sensory issues that they have, but it's also could be very very deadly too, with the numbers show because they don't really have fear of the water. So it's like but they got to have water safety so they can make sure they're safe in the water. So that's what we're pushing, as well as this thing we're doing protect our autism community, teaching pact, and we're making a pact with the police officers. You know what I mean? Because we need them to understand when they are in the presence of someone with autism. How to be able to deal with, how to be able to handle that does not lead, that doesn't turn a situation that doesn't turn into a death because they have shooting kids with autism and adults with autism because they don't understand the stimming and what they're doing, and maybe
Yes.
they're drunk or something, but they're not drunk. They just it's just the awareness and the acknowledgement of it, and so they can be able to protect and serve our community as
It's
well.
key. It's key, sibling, because at some point, I mean, people, unfortunately, due to the ignorance or lack of knowledge, they think that people with autism can't potentially live a fulfilling life on their own out in society. So they're not expecting them potentially to go shopping. For instance, do you remember that video of the guy at the self checkouts and the
Yes.
heartbreaking, sibling, heartbreaking that
Very,
kind
very
of stuff.
heartbreaking, bro.
Mm,
Horrible. You know what I
mm,
mean? But it's just people don't have the knowledge. They're not aware. You know what I
yes,
mean? If they were aware of what it was, then they wouldn't do certain things. So that's why my job is to be a voice for the voiceless. My job as a father is to be that voice for my son. You know what I mean? So that people are aware of what's going on. You know what I mean? And what it looks like and what autism looks like, especially when they're black.
come on, come on.
Already when you're a black man in this world, there are certain things already that you got to deal with. Now to being having autism on top of that, bro, it's like, it's just it could be very scary.
It's
And especially
amplification.
when they're non-speaking, you know what I mean? Like, so it's just I gotta get out here, bro, and I gotta be able to do what I can to be able to be a voice for my son and for
Yes.
other the children and other, not just children, but I'm saying, but other people like him. You know what I'm saying? Other young women, young men that are just like my son. You know what I'm saying? So I got to be his voice. So that's what I'm doing out here, bro. Is being a voice. You know what I'm saying?
And putting that awareness out and putting a physical a face to it because I don't know. I mean, obviously, based upon your nonprofit and the work you're doing, there must be people of celebrity status who are going through these things, But you don't necessarily see it. You don't
Nah,
see.
I was happy the other day that I reached out to him as well. Big X the plug
Mm,
uh, recently came out and talked about his 6-year old having autism. And I think that's what I think my job has been for the last, like I said, my son's 14, but really for the last 4 or 5 years, I've really been just really, sounding the alarm and letting people know what this thing is like, so that others can be comfortable enough to come out and say, hey, I have a son with autism, or I have
yeah,
a daughter with autism, and you know what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah.
So I think that's key. I love the fact that he came out and talked about his experience, but I think not enough light is being shed on the actual
Mm.
experience. I think that when you have a child or son or daughter with autism, it's more like you're on an island, you know?
You're isolated. You don't. I mean, I don't know what it's like in America, but in England, there is means of support, but
Yeah.
it's very much down the big pharma routes. There's no necessary kind of okay, these are the type of sensory type of things that we should start to do. Let's try and
Yeah.
understand what his tics are, what's the stimulation, what he likes to be,
Mm-hmm.
how, why,
Mm-hmm.
these kind of
Mm-hmm.
things. We're not going to the root to try and allow the child to develop and to grow. It's a case of, okay, this is what the issue is. Let's do this. Let's give him this. Let's put him in a mainstream school, sibling, with other people. Like, what sense does that make when we need to, with the routine, some are very routine heavy. It's as you say, it's very isolating. And if you don't have a network of other people who are having the same issues or the same the same everything's going you're up against it. You're
Yeah, you
totally
up
up against
against it.
it.
Yeah, you up against it. And they don't, the school systems aren't prepared for it because the numbers have, they're saying one out of 36 baby born is going to be born with autism. Now they're saying 1 out of 31. Since the 90s, the amount of autism cases are up 300%. The educational system is not necessarily made for
No,
children with autism. You have a classroom of 20 kids. First of all, if they got sensory issues, they're not even going to be able to even be to even retain whatever you're trying to give them because that's not even the right setting.
no.
You know what I mean? To be able to teach a child with autism. You
Sensory
know,
overload.
yes, sensory overload. You're gonna have that. That's too much
Mm,
going on. Um, you if you met one person with autism, you just met one person without, you just met one child with autism. They're not the same. The spectrum is wide. You
very
know what I mean?
wide.
And it's just like you can't treat everybody with this same cookie cutter approach to it.
It's
You can't. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
has to be
So you
tailored,
gotta really,
very much tailored.
that's exactly what you were saying. Like you gotta find the ticks.
Mm,
You gotta find what works for this particular child.
mm,
Okay. How is this particular child responding?
mhm,
What is they responding to?
mhm.
What, it's gonna take more than just the one teacher and a para. It's gonna take someone who's gonna be able to just focus on these particular children. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
There's gonna be specialists going to be involved. Um, ABA therapy works for some ABA therapy, but for others, maybe not. You know what I mean? Speech therapy, music there, but you got to find whatever your child responds to is what you got. You got to meet them where they are.
Exactly.
Okay? You got to meet them where they are. Yeah, this one size fit all thing is not going to work.
Never, never.
Not going to work. So that's what I've learned in our experience. Um,
What was the
you know,
journey like going from maybe from like 8 to 9 to get into teenage? Was there
man,
this the puberty
man,
element?
listen,
That yeah,
man, puberty. And just like any normal child when they're going through puberty, attitudes and changes and things are changing,
mm,
frustrations.
yes,
Now imagine that you got a lot that you want to say, not just these simple commands you can put on the pad and stuff like that or whatever, but like things you really want to get out and you can't get them out.
yeah. They're trapped.
That's that's tough.
Mm,
That's really tough, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that will make you frustrated, you
very.
know? So you gotta, as a parent, kind of, man, really have a lot of patience. Really gotta have a lot of patience. You know, repetition is key, but like there are certain things that repetition behaviors may be going on, and you got to continue to do the, and you try to fix these behaviors they may
Yeah,
be having.
yeah,
Don't be repetition on your end.
yeah.
So it's like, let's say he's punching a hole in the wall, you got to keep repeatedly like, okay, we're not going to be doing that. We're not going to
Mm,
be doing that. We're not going to be doing that. But he's going to continue to keep doing it. Keep doing it.
yeah.
And can you, because you're going to get upset, but you're going to get upset at the situation, not the
Yes,
child.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? The situation is okay to get upset at the situation because the situation is beyond us.
It's taxing.
You know what I mean? It did not, as a parent, you didn't cause this.
Mm,
You know what I mean? I got three other children. I got three other children with my wife. Same vaccinations or whatever. You know, no problems.
hmm
You know,
Yeah.
but this situation with my son, I never had nobody had autism in my family.
Come on.
Now I will tell you that I feel like me now seeing this,
Yeah.
I can see like I'm on the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? I could myself, just as things that I used to do when I was coming up. Like, you know what I mean? Like I
Mm,
used to just bounce my head to sleep. Just bounce my head to sleep, bounce my head to sleep. Bounce, you know what I mean? That's how I went to sleep.
mm.
You know what I mean? I had to bounce my head for me to get to sleep. You know what I mean? Like to the pillow. Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. I kept doing that. That's what I was doing. You know what I mean? My music and how music just, if I hear something that I love, I want to hear it over and over
Oh,
and over and over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, there are things about myself that is just like is very, very,
obsessive.
yeah, there's very, very my sensory issues, my empathicness that I feel from people. You know
Mm.
what I mean? That's the same thing my son got. You know what I mean? Like he's like he feel like right now
Feels.
feel well,
Hmm.
but the man, like the way he communicates with me, the way he gets his eyes contact with me nowadays, used
Yeah.
to didn't be like this, but now the way he's focused on me and the way he
Wow.
looked at me and I can understand
That's a
he
big
wanted certain
thing,
things.
sibling.
So yes, yes, bro, it's different, bro. It's just like it's like okay, I give an example. So as a parent, it's like, man, how do you potty train a child that don't speak?
Come on, sibling, please. Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So you gotta like that. How do you do that? Well, you gotta you have to really be in tune with your child.
With
You
the
have to really,
signs and yeah,
yes, you
yes.
gotta really. It's like you speaking without speaking,
Yeah.
but they understanding everything that you
Hmm.
saying.
Yeah.
That's another thing. The misconception is that just because they're not speaking back to you
Yeah.
because they have profound autism, but they understand everything that you're saying.
Everything.
So they're retaining, they're not silent. You know what I'm saying? They're not speaking, but they got something to say.
Mm.
And they understand everything.
Yes.
So once you understand that, it's kind of like you could like you could have expectations of them, that more than if I know you understand what I'm saying, then I'm gonna expect you to do certain things.
Indeed.
You know
Indeed.
what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yes.
so because I know you follow me here.
Hmm.
So, and it's just, dealing with that and dealing with kids being kids. And,
Testing the boundaries, testing the boundaries, which is on a
that's,
whole nother
that's,
level.
man, listen, testing the boundaries is right. One day when we first moved into this house we in now, um, back in 2018, we had to get the alarm system put in. Like we want the alarms. We didn't even
Yes.
want to move in until the alarm system was in because we like, yo, it's not that we trying to keep people out. We're trying to keep people in. You know what I'm saying? So we need to know when our son hit any of these doors out here
Mm.
and he's a new place. So what he do?
Yeah.
Testing his boundaries. You
Yes.
know what I mean? He's testing his boundaries. He is at that time, we were 27 years. So he's 8 years old during that time.
That's the
And
hands into everything. I'm going everywhere. I'm touching everything time. That is.
yeah, so he leaves the house, leaves.
I would imagine you haven't got it's not it's open once you get out there, right?
Open,
Shit.
bro. He ended up going to a neighbor's house, just went into their back door,
Into the
and
house, sibling.
went in.
Whoa.
Okay, I'm driving around, wife driving around. Neighbor was like, you looking for a child? We happen to see us, man, bro. Could have went so many wrong ways.
Exactly. The most high's got you covered, sibling. Don't even trip.
Oh, I know. Oh,
C-
listen,
Come
I
on.
know, I know. I know he chose me to be his dad.
Come on.
I know he chose me to be his dad. So it's like, okay. But when that happens, it's like, it's just like, man, you said testing your boundaries. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And that's what he was doing, you know? And it is just one of them things, bro, that you have to safety is key. Safety is the number one
Yeah.
thing that we push.
Yeah.
In our house,
Hmm.
in our nonprofit, whatever, it's safety. You
Yes.
gotta keep because it's I read, I see it online all the time. I
Mm.
see he got away the other day. Elope. Elope is what it's called. When they got to run off, they got to
Yes.
get energy out. It's called elopement.
Mm.
And when they do it, it's therapeutic for them, but it could be scary for us. Kid got away, got out the gate, was found a half a mile away from the school in a creek, drowned. This happened. Um, I want to say this happened in Tennessee, and then one of them happened in North Carolina recently.
Whoa.
Both in these two different situations over the last month have taken place. When got in that water, one child's name is Caden.
Rise in
Grandma was
paradise.
watching them. Grandma was watching them. Fell asleep. Went out the door into some apartments. They had like a little lake in between the
Oh
apartments. You know what I'm saying,
man.
got into the lake, drowned. So it's just that's why I'm pushing water safety, and then
Hmm.
also just pushing safety. Period, like being able to get the trackers on your son. You know what I mean,
That's
on your door.
another so is there a specific product or is it the air tags, all that kind
Yeah,
of
the air
thing?
tag. It just gets you out. Get the air tag.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Gotta get the air tags.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Just so you can just if anything happens, if you slip anything, if they want to load, you
mm,
can know exactly where they at.
mm.
You know what I mean? So
I
it,
take it you
these
got multiple. So do you secrete them into like shoes and all that? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
shoes, shoes. Luckily he has a phone too, so he keep his phone, his pad or whatever and stuff. So we got that too.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's those are just the safety things you got to go through as a parent when you're
Mm.
dealing with a child with autism. Um, with non especially with nonverbal autism. Then you got to make sure the schools.
Oh yeah.
You got to put you in the schools
You have to be.
because if what if somebody is a predator? You know what I mean? They can't tell you what's going on, what happened.
Mm, mm.
So you gotta be. That's why you gotta be so in tune
And present.
with your child.
Yeah.
With you got to be in tune with that school,
Mm.
with who's taking care of them.
Yes.
I mean, you have to be in tune. You gotta be in tune.
Mm.
You gotta be in tune, man. Because things can happen.
Anything can happen these days, sibling. It's a beautiful a plane of existence that the Most High has created, but there are beings on this plane of existence that have some very ill intentions, man.
Very
So
much so.
we got to
Very
be
much.
very diligent, boss, especially
Yes.
for these wonderful special children, man, because
Yes.
they have no one but us to protect them. Never mind us, just
Yes.
standard children who can, talk and do things, a little bit differently. These
Yeah.
ones, they're so precious, man. And the 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 implications of us not being men, and strong women, it's perilous.
Perilous. It is. It really immediately is, bro. So that's you know, like even now, like when he's not feeling well today, you know, being able to identify with what his ailment may what's going on with
Yeah.
him, identifying with that, what I mean? Just it requires so much attention, so much care. And I always say, like, you get people say low functioning and high functioning, but it's really just the level of support that the child needs. Like
Mm.
if they need support like daily to be able to to really be able to live, and you got lots of supports, and that's like that's a profound autism. But if you have like someone who's really able to mask and kind of like match behaviors of people around them, and make
That's
that's how as an autism, but it's
yeah.
like it's not as profound as
Hmm.
others. So
Hmm.
everybody experience. I'll be speaking for the profound autism. Because that's my situation,
Yes.
and I don't want people to confuse the two. You know what I'm saying? Like I want people to know that there is a difference.
A
You know what I
major
mean?
difference. A
A major
major
difference. And
difference.
so then that's why I speak to my experience. You know what I'm saying? I have to.
24 hours a day. You're not taking a break, kinfolk. You are not taking,
No,
there's no breaks, there's no days off, there's none of that.
no. no, no. It's none of that. It's a house full of autism advocates.
Mm.
You know,
Yes. Supporting,
house.
guiding.
Yes, like from all his siblings, my older siblings, his older siblings that I have outside my wife prior to my wife,
Hmm.
um, all of us, like what I mean, being this unit, what I mean,
Units.
making sure that that he is covered and that he's okay, and
Hmm.
that but like I said, he's a 14 now, so he's like he's able to do more. Man, he's
Is it
definitely
filled out?
oh yeah, he's definitely he's about almost 6 feet tall. And the guy is as strong as man. I mean, like if he didn't have autism, I have him in a football field. You
This
know what I
is
mean?
the thing. This is the thing that which people again don't appreciate and understand the strength that these children generally have, who are on
Yes,
that extreme side. Um,
yes.
Now, food wise, how are we managing in respect to that? Because from what I'm seeing on the extreme side, that I'm full is never there.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, it's like it's it's like they get fixated on certain things, and they want to repeat, 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 and
Mm.
trying to introduce new things sometimes could be very, very difficult. Very, very difficult at times. You know what I'm saying? But luckily my son loves fruit. He,
Excellent.
he loves fruit. You know what I mean? He loves fruit. Very seldom does he eat like meat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 23 years plant-based. So, it's 23
Absolute
years for me,
sibling.
Yes. So, no chicken in my kitchen, no pork in my fork, no beef between my teeth. None of that. You know what I'm saying? So,
No flesh.
but he definitely he'll eat some chicken. And that's pretty much about the gist of what he does. Like he loves fruit. He loves fruit. The guy loves fruit.
Mm.
He loves. So it's like, he eats really good. Um, he's been into trying to get some candy since Easter. So he's been telling me candy, candy. I know. I'm like, no, M&Ms. Like no, I'm not doing any of these things like every day. Like we're not doing that. But since Easter, he's been on that. He's definitely one of those guys that like he wants what he wants when he
Hmm.
wants it,
Yeah.
and but it's been very good to see him deal with no, you know,
Hmm.
and he's been dealing with no,
Good.
and able to just okay,
To deal
I
with
mean,
it, yeah.
deal with it and move on. People don't understand that that's a that
Constant 12, 13, 15, 19 times back. No, don't do that. Straight back,
yes,
straight back, straight
yes,
back.
yes,
So you've just got to
yeah.
stand in the middle
Mhm.
when he comes
that
back. No.
Yeah. So, dealing with that, but he was student of the week this past week. So,
Excellent.
we go and he was student of the month last month. He's doing a great job. So I reward him, and he gets on his pad. He tells me cafe, 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 cafe. He wants to go, and I take him, you know what I mean, and he
Uh-huh.
like loves to get out and eat, and go do that thing or whatever, man. So and take little trips. Those things are precious moments with him. He's the guy's a hilarious guy. He loves to do things as mischievous, like steal phones. He loves to steal phones. If you got a phone, he'll try to steal it and run away with it.
I'm
He's
having
into
that.
that. I mean, yes, he's into that. He thinks it's hilarious to
Mm.
him just to come steal a phone and run away with it. But it's a no, it's never a dull moment, with Jameson, with JC,
Yes.
with JC.
Yes. I can
Never a dull
imagine.
moment. I mean, but like I said before, I know God chose me to do it, and not only did He chose me to do it for Him and be His father, but He chose me to be a light, in this world with autism, and be a light for these parents, So I have to do it, you know what I mean? And I gotta, it's crazy that like amongst the other things that I do with my professional life, I feel like I'm glad that I'm able to build my life around him, you know what I'm saying, or just
Mm.
around
And have
my
the
family.
flexibility to be able to do that,
Yeah,
sibling.
yes. You know what I mean? Because everybody's not blessed with that.
Mm.
And I'm thankful for that. You know what I mean? To be able to be flexible enough to be able to be, to schedule my things around him and make my life
Yes.
be able to be around him. So that's it's a beautiful thing, but at the same time, it wasn't an easy process, because when you first find out, you get that diagnosis when he was 2 that he's not gonna be um he's not gonna these are not gonna be like the other children. He's not gonna be
Yes.
that. So that could
Prior
be.
sibling, prior to that 2-year diagnosis, did you notice? Did you think there's pretty much straight away kind of thing? Did you know?
We saw it. We saw he didn't make eye contact. He
Yeah.
wasn't making milestones as far
Yeah.
as speech. He'd make him on his physical part of him, but he wasn't making it on the other things. And you can't be in denial about your child.
Yeah.
Can't. You got to deal with it straight on. You know what I mean? And it was difficult,
It
but
is.
but we had to deal with it straight on, bro, so we can make sure we try to get a level of normalcy in this house for the other siblings as well,
Hmm.
be able to really, because I'm raising 4 kids in
Of
this household. You know what I'm saying? So it's
course.
like it all can't just be about JC. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So we got to make sure we take care of the other ones too,
Yeah.
and make sure they get the time and stuff like that as well. So, and then just the reality that things aren't the way you think they are going to be
Mm.
when you have when you have a child, you have a thought of how you think things gonna be, and then
Yes.
when things differ from that, being able to adjust to
Hmm.
that, is gonna be key, and being able to work through that. Um, and it's gonna take a lot. It takes a lot. Some people use therapy, because I recommend it. You know what I mean? Um, a lot of prayer, a lot of
Most important. That's number one,
a lot of
sibling.
prayer.
Number one.
Yeah, a lot of prayer, man. A lot of prayer. A lot of prayer, even to this day, because so much you don't know. You know what I mean? I'm gonna live. I make certain decisions. I try to make sure that I'm as healthy as I can be, to be as in great shape as I can be,
Yeah.
so that I could be around for as long as I need to be around
Hmm.
for him. So certain things I don't do, or what I mean, anymore, because I'm like, okay, I need to make sure I'm as healthy as I possibly can be.
Yeah.
Um, so that kind of thing. But you could plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. Is
Of
what my boy
course.
150,000 said.
Everything is
You know what I mean?
everything in life is subject to change, sibling. Everything.
Yes, everything's subject to change. So it's like, you don't know how things gonna be. So it's like, it's just, man, you want to give your child the world, you want to protect the child, the world from the world at the same time, and you want to be around for them because nobody ain't gonna love them like you love on them. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
it's just those are the things that go through your mind, and but you got to think about today. You know what I mean? And be attitude of gratitude for today,
Yeah.
right
Yes.
now. Make the most of the time that you have today. You know what I mean? And and give the rest to the source. You know what I mean?
100%
You know?
sibling. Live in the moment and plan for the future. It's the only way, man. Because
It's the only
tomorrow,
way.
it's tomorrow
Yeah,
ain't promised, man. It ain't
man.
promised. So
It is
every
not promised at
second,
all. It's
minute, hour, grasp it. Get all of those experiences. Tell all the people you know and love that you love them.
yes,
Because look, this year is finite, man. This little 80 years that the Most High may bless us in this three-dimensional plane. It's a blink of an eye, man. It's a blink of an eye.
but
Once
but
this energy source leaves this vessel and goes up with the greats and our foreparents and the Most High, we got a next journey, boss. You know what I'm saying?
next journey. We got the next one. So we have the attitude of gratitude. You know what I mean? Of what's going on right now, and just trying to be the best I could be, for him and for them. You know what I mean? And that's what's important. The things definitely change perspective wise on what's important.
Hmm.
You know, when you have a child with special needs, um, the paying everything
Yes.
forward is really become like the thing. You know what I mean? Just everything has to be paid forward. So, and it definitely gives you a boost to the grind. You know what I mean?
Come on. It's the
A
extra
boost,
battery in your back to
a battery, a jetpack in your back. You understand what I'm
yes,
saying, man? A jetpack in your back. So you gotta keep it going and flowing, man. So and that's why one is too close to none. I'm multiple streams of income, multiple hustles at the same time, pushing through income streams, and then still being able to you got to give to receive. The more you receive, the more you give. The more you give, the more you receive. So I'm
exactly,
just going to just like really, really being a voice for my autism community, and at the same time just using my voice. This is another gives me another platform to use my voice. You
exactly.
know,
And the most
and that's how I
important thing
look
that
at
you're
it.
giving, the most important time the thing that you're doing, sibling, is giving your time away because there's no money that can recompense the time and effort that you're putting into this nonprofit to share the
Yeah.
awareness, to normalize things that we grew up with, didn't grow up with, but now
Yes.
we are connected either directly or indirectly. I'm pretty sure the majority of the people who are going to listen to this will say, my brother, my
My,
friend.
my cousin, my uncle, because 1 in 36
Come on.
people are being diagnosed with autism. So yeah, you're gonna have a cousin,
Mm,
an uncle, a brother, a sister, a sibling, as you
mm.
would say, a kinfolk, as
Ken
I would say.
folk.
You're gonna have that. You're
Riggedy.
going to have that. So you need to get as much knowledge on it, you know what I mean, and tap in, what you can, and when people that's actually speaking about it in a way that's open and you can understand it and being transparent enough to be able to share. You know
Yes.
what I mean? I got to. You know what I mean? That's a part. It's a purpose at this point. You know
Come
what I
on.
mean?
You're paving the
It's
way,
a
sibling.
purpose. Yep. This is purpose, and it's part of my purpose at this point. So it's like, I'm gonna put it out there like I put music out there, or like I put films out there. I'm gonna put it out there because
Mm,
I mean that's what this all I've ever done was giving my experience and put it out there. So that's
come
what
on.
I'm doing with this.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know?
Authentically doing this here, sibling. You know what
Yeah.
I
Oh
mean?
yeah. Definitely. Definitely. It has to be authentic.
Mm,
It's got to be real. It's got to be authentic, bro. You know what I mean? If it's inauthentic, I'm not in it. You know what
come
I
on.
mean?
Come on.
It's got to be authentic, bro. You know what I mean? It is what you see is what you get. It's just real spill.
Yes. Yes.
Real spill, man.
So where are we looking to go with the nonprofit?
I
It's
mean, global. You know, um, autism isn't a Memphis thing. It isn't an Atlanta thing. It's a global thing. Certain places more than others.
yeah.
So I want to. I mean, I've got to make sure that the world know my JC, my Jameson. You know what I'm saying? They got to know him. So,
Mm,
and know his experience. So I want to be used to be able to help people. I got to be able to help those people who just got their diagnosis with their kid.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got to be able to speak, reach and teach, about autism. So, you know, and I got to be able to put um these safety programs into effect,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
not just Memphis or my hometown or Atlanta where I'm at, but just it's other places that need aquatism. You know,
Mm,
we need it all across the pond too. You know what I
mm,
mean? So, so these things I'm trying to do is spark um this movement that we can be open and we can build community amongst all of us that are out there that are a part of this autism community, so we can be able to combat certain things, vaccines, big
yeah.
pharma,
Yes.
that kind of thing. If that's the case here, and just communicate. We got to be able. We got to build community.
Community, most definitely. I mean, within our nation, we have a very splintered and fractured community as it is already. But within this special community, that's what needs to be built up. The awareness needs to be built up. The
Yes,
stigma needs to be broken. The barriers need to be broken. The
yes,
governmental system
yes.
needs to
Need to
be,
be transformed to
come
be
on.
able to help, because
Yes.
man, to those single parent autism parents out there.
How are
You
they
know what I mean?
even doing? How are they even
How can
surviving?
they do? How? You know what I mean? Like, nah, man. Like, it's bigger than us. It's bigger than me.
Yeah,
You know,
it's the
it's
future,
bigger than
man.
me and my boy. But I
Mm,
gotta, we gotta do our part.
most definitely,
You know,
most
so
definitely.
that's what's up with that. You know, anyone looking to be able to tap in and build community, autismadvocates.org, autismadvocates.org. Anyone watching this, receiving this, autismadvocates.org.
I will make
Tap
sure I
in.
put links all
You know what
below
I'm saying?
down in the
All the links.
description. Yeah, man, most definitely.
To
I'll
be
spread
able to
out the links.
tap in with
Definite, man.
you.
We got
Yeah.
to, man. As I said, and I will continue to say, all we got is us. If we don't spark these conversations, if we don't spread this thing around, each one teach 12, you know what I mean? We're going to be in the same position. We're going to be
Immediately.
little islands with little lights of hope and lights, rather than being a mass of people who we can pick up a phone, we can go and knock someone's door, we can send an email, we can do a
Yes.
Zoom call, you know.
Yes.
I need
Yes.
that support. I need some help. What did you do at this time when he was 8? What was you
Exactly.
doing? Yeah?
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is. Because these doctors are not gonna be, you can't lean on them. You know what I mean? It's not an objective situation. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They're not objective. These people are working for a situation that's,
Mm,
it's different.
very
You got to
different.
be able to tap in with the community and build community so we can be able to really help each other. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And
Hmm.
it just lets you know the person on the other side of the thing that you're not by yourself. That we all going through this together. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Honest sibling, man. Honest. Thank you very much for your time.
No, no
Um,
problem at all, man. We'll continue to do this, man.
oh, definite, man. Any
No,
updates?
definitely.
Most
Oh
def,
yeah, definitely,
boss.
man. Let me tap in real quick too to let y'all know I do gotta on the music and film television side of things.
Yes, come with it, mate.
Um, there is a new single called Big One. You know what I mean? Like we just did our big one with this interview. So Big One is out on all platforms right now. A few of them I just dropped. I dropped the Memphis Grizzly anthem, Standing on Grizzness. I dropped one called 2025, one called Fly. So these videos are out.
Oh, you got
Um,
videos as well, sibling.
videos are out for Standing on Grizzness for 2025 for Fly. Check out my last 3 videos. I just started a new YouTube page called Immediately Kinfolk. All
Okay.
right, so go to YouTube and go to Immediately Kinfolk because that popular euphemism I use online on my socials is popping off. So go to Immediately Kinfolk at YouTube and you'll see some of the content there as well as for the videos and the music and all that or whatever. And then on the film and television side of things, I just was in Red One, which was a Christmas movie that came out with The Rock over Christmas holidays. I was
One
in, yeah,
sibling.
yes, yes. That's the movie's called Red One.
I
Um,
peeped that. So where were you in that there, man?
my daughters are there watching it right now. I have blue eyes. I have eyes, and you can see it's me, but I have blue eyes in that joint. And you're gonna see I work for Mother. I work for the woman that
Oh,
was stealing Santa Claus. Yeah, go look at it.
yeah,
You'll
man.
see me. You'll see me. I'm her number one dude in the joint or whatever. And I got speaker lines in it. When you watch the Red One again, you'll see me in there. But
I
just
go.
I have my faces looks a little bit
Yeah, yeah,
crusty.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
got blue eyes, but you go watch it, you see it. They clone Tyrone. That movie
Oh
I'm
yes,
starting.
I definitely
Yes,
picture in that. Yes,
yeah,
sibling.
that's super
Hmm.
fly. I'm in that one, but BMF, the new season of BMF, I played in episode 2, the second episode of the new BMF season. You're gonna see me in that, and then this TV show called P Valley. They're in season 3. They're on Stars, and you'll see me on that coming up this year as well. So just to update you all out there, whatever that Kinfolk definitely still is being relevant and intelligent. You know what I'm saying on this film and television and this music thing. Still on that, you know what I mean.
Most
And
definite.
I did produce for Glorilla on her project Anyway Life's Great, the first one that came out that had F&F on it and all that.
Okay.
I produced Get That Money on that particular project. It just went gold. And I produced Get That Money on that particular project for Glorilla. So still very much producing and still very much got my finger on the pulse of what's going on in this industry thing as far as that's concerned. But first and foremost,
Masterful producer, I might add as well.
indeed, 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 indeed. So still very much on those things. and got a few more surprises coming on the producing things too. You'll be hearing about very, very quickly here as the summer comes. I got a big one coming with another big artist too. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah, so definitely still working and doing that thing. But autism advocates is what is my advocacy and what I'm pushing,
yeah.
and that's what I'm focused on. You know what I mean? Every day, 365 days a year. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? This situation, but just wanted to just put that out there for those, you know what I mean, that could tap in, bro. And I
Oh,
appreciate your
definite.
time. I appreciate
Most
you.
def,
As you say,
most
sibling, I appreciate you, sibling. I appreciate you. You know what I'm
every
saying?
time,
For
kinfolk.
real,
Folk.
man. You know
Every
what I'm saying?
time.
It's love. It's love, Ken, bro. And
Yes.
as there's things as we get closer to like the BMF episode or whatever that's coming out in June,
Hmm.
we can definitely tap about that or whatever.
Definite.
My line's always open, bro. You know what I mean? To be able to keep this conversation flowing and going, man. You know what I
Most
mean?
def, most def. Two more questions before you depart, sibling. Have you had fun today?
Oh man, you know what? I had fun last night. Last night was today because me and my wife went to see Sinners.
Oh,
Um,
that was dope still.
yes, yes, dope. We went to see that the last night, and we went out for a little holiday together. Man, we had
Hmm.
a good time.
Give
Um,
thanks.
but then you come back home as a parent, and it's like my son's not feeling well. He didn't go to school today. My daughter wasn't feeling well. She didn't go to school today. So it's like, you know what I mean? Just keeping it going. But yeah, I'm definitely having fun, man. And I'm about to have some more fun when I get out this line or whatever, bro. You know what I'm saying? So,
Shiggity, man. That's how
yeah,
we do
man.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Last one. Please tell us who you are, sibling, but do not tell us your name.
Who I am. I
Yeah.
am a son of God. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. I am a lender and no longer a borrower. I am blessed by the best and they can have all the rest. I am an artist. I'm an actor. You know what I mean? I am an advocate. You know what I mean? But I am a father. I am a husband. You know what I mean? I am a brother. You know what I mean? And I am a vessel. You know what I mean? Being used an onion, if you would, peeling back all these layers of things, man, that God has been able to use me. But I always believe if you cannot be used, you useless. So I'm a vessel that's being used to be able to bring the positivity to
Mm.
you. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, man.
Give thanks, sibling. Honors and
Give
respect,
thanks.
man. Thank you again for
Yes.
carving out that
Thank
time.
you.
I
Thank
will
you, Noble, man. I appreciate you, my sibling, for sure, bro. Blessings to you, man.
every
Let's
time,
get
man.
it, bro.
Definite,
Indeed. Let's
boss.
get
And
it.
all the links will be below down in the description. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, and jump on this here wave, kinfolk.
Yes. Immediately, yes. Immediately.